since having a Forex account allows you to effortlessly convert your money back and forth between any two different currencies at an extremely low commission cost compared to bank accounts, you will be able to convert and park your money, with ease and convenience, to a more stable currency, when you notice your base currency dropping in value globally. Eventually, when your base currency stabilizes globally, you can then convert back to it. Since your original $10,000 capital was parked in another currency and shielded from decreasing during the instability period, when you convert back to it, it normally results in a small capital gain. For example, it might now convert back to around $10,200. As this process is repeated throughout the year, the I will gain more and more capital, possibly as much as 20% to 250% over a period of 1 year. These capital gains can now serve as a buffer or a hedge against a possible increase in the price of your groceries. What's more is that since capital gains are made regardless of whether the global value of your base currency increases or decreases, this capital gain harvesting process, which we will refer to as currency farming, or money farming, just happens to be a very modest and lucrative form of investment. Let's not forget the incredible tax benefits also. Capital gains income is often taxed at a substantially lower rate than income from other sources. About Forex money farming. What is money farming? Without giving too much away, we can say that money farming is a technology-based swing trading system involving complex hedging trades and precision market timing. To make our money farming system work, several technological components had to be combined to work together in harmony through a cyber interface called Excalibur. Excalibur technology is exclusive to our Clever Trader system. Money farming, when done properly, is based on the principle of not abusing the use of leveraging provided by margin accounts. When the use of margin is not abused, risks will be negligible and essentially non-existent. Thus, money farming using any decent charting and trade execution platform, or EA, is literally a guaranteed investment approach in which you will always get positive results. Just like the name implies, money farming by analogy is very similar to actual farming. Simply put, it's the coordination of timing, crop selection, planting, growing, watering, pruning, managing, and harvesting. This comparison is even more obvious when we replace the term crop with Forex currency pair, and the terms planting and harvesting with the terms buying, selling, shorting, and covering. Growing is done when you time any or all of the following events to promote and nurture price movement in a desired direction. These events include hedging, position accumulation, position reduction, standby, stop loss, take profit, dollar cost averaging, etc. In addition, since some crops can fail, it is also important to diversify your selection of currency pairs being traded when using money farming, in the same way a farmer would diversify their crops. In conclusion, Forex money farming involves the trading of either one or a diversified selection of different Forex currency pairs in your accounts. Hedging can be done either by trading currency options or by holding opposing currency pair positions of carefully calculated sizes and ratios in separate complementary accounts. Our Clever Trader EA was designed to streamline the coordination of trading multiple currency pairs in single or multiple accounts. Post 1. What is Clever Trader? Clever Trader is a professional foreign currency trading system and technology. We are going to supply the technology and teach you the trading system that makes Forex trading a sure thing. You can learn more in the About section. The Clever Trader system is based on the apprenticeship and training to learn the complete everything you will need for a guaranteed success with Forex trading. Part of the training involves mastering an Artificial Intelligence Expert Advisor, EA, which interacts with your MT4 trading account. This EA can be set to trade automatically or manually, thereby ensuring that you earn a greater return when combining both trading types. How effective is Clever Trader? When the Clever Trader system is used to trade the major currency pairs in the Forex market, the system promises returns of 20% to 40% without significant risk. However, returns of up to 250% are also possible if you are willing to take responsibility for the risk. Regardless of whether you choose to trade with or without a significant risk element, the amount of returns you can earn is ultimately directly proportional to how much time you put in and the amount of the starting capital you have. For example, if you trade full-time with $200,000 as your starting capital, you could expect a return of nearly $40,000 annually without any significant risk. If this $40,000 is not enough for you to live on, the secret to ensuring success is to increase your starting capital accordingly, rather than increasing your risk factor. A baseline of $100,000 capital is the minimum starting capital recommended to use our Clever Trader money farming system. You must have this amount reserved if you would like to qualify for our apprenticeship program. Part2. There are many people that think that keeping money locked away in a bank account is safe and secure, even though the interest rate is low. If you're one of the many who thinks this way, let us show you how much you can make in Forex with very little risk. Surething investments are not myths. If you have more than $100,000 in your nest egg, then you might just have enough capital to trade with and sustain your lifestyle just by day trading in the Forex market alone. This has recently become possible because of an important discovery we made about the Forex market, and about how to trade with very little risk. We now have mathematical proof to show you how you can make day trading in your Forex account less risky than letting your money simply sit in a bank account. While this proof is contingent on 100% adherence to strict trading guidelines, conditions, and practices, it's remarkable. The most important of these trading aspects is the practice of trading only with your own capital or with very little margin borrowing. You will learn more about these things later, but they are a central component of the Clever Trader system. Part3. Did you know that the mathematical probability of succeeding with currency trading, when no margin except your own money is used, is very close to 100%? On the other hand, when the use of margin is abused, even just a little, this probability rapidly drops to zero. If you are trading using marginalized accounts, then this is why the defensive management of account margin will become the single most important key to your success. So the question now is, why isn't everyone simply trading without the use of margin? The answer is that your potential earnings will be exponentially greater using a margin account. Even though it's true that risk can be mathematically demonstrated to be essentially zero, after 2 to 3 months or more, the typical annual return when trading without using margin only ranges from around 20% to 40% depending on the skills of the trader, and how much time the trader puts into it. For typical returns above 40% to 100% and beyond, the use of margin is required, but it becomes a very dangerous game to play. Somehow, everyone wants to play this dangerous game. But why? Why won't people just settle for our 20% to 40% guaranteed return trading method? Here is one possible answer. Given the amount of time day trading requires, people who decide to engage in day trading have probably made it their choice to trade for a living. If a day trader starts with a capital of $200,000 or so, and uses a guaranteed return approach without margin, this would translate to a minimum income of $40,000 annually, assuming a 20% to 40% return without risk. While most people could make a living with $40,000, the typical trader will not start with $200,000 capital. The typical day trader is more likely to start with about $2,000 to $30,000. While this starting amount is only an educated guess on our part, the point is that you cannot really make a living with the returns on this small amount of capital, unless you are making returns in excess of 100%. To make such huge returns, heavy margin use trading is required to stretch the buying power of your starting capital. This is where the problem lies. Succumbing to the pressure to stretch one's starting capital too far. Given that most Forex brokers allow their clients to stretch their starting capital anywhere from 20 to 400 times, it is easy for traders to become greedy and go into a state of denial. Wishful thinking can take over and blind any trader from seeing the truth about margin until it's too late. This truth about margin is that it's a trap that normally only benefits your broker. Considering that using margin to stretch your capital by a factor of 2 is dangerous, stretching the capital 20 times is flat out reckless. At 400 times, you might as well just hand over your money because failure is guaranteed in the long run. It's just a matter of time. Now that we are about to reach the ending of this video, let's go over what you have learned so far. You should now understand the concept of hedging, and how it's used to create capital gains. The sum of these capital gains generated, then becomes a buffer against possible future devaluation of your base currency, relative to the values of other currencies globally. However, it was also concluded that this hedging technique can only work on the assumption that an overall positive net capital gain would occur as a result of all your currency conversion activities. The topic of our next video is the statistical proof that the odds of achieving this net positive success rate, by the completion of this hedging process, is essentially a mathematical certainty.